She said she regretted it and she had only one partner and realized he wasn't as good as I was. So she ditched him and now she wants to close the relationship again. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over a story titled, My Girlfriend Insisted on an Open Relationship and Now Wants to Close It, but I'm having the time of my life. How do I proceed? And guys, big shout out to Joseph for sending me this story. And guys, what we have here is another classic example. Guy's in a relationship with his girlfriend. He's with his girlfriend for 4 years. He's 23. Turns out this is his first girlfriend and the first girl he's ever had relations with. And after a while, she brought up this idea about the open relationship to help make the relationship better, that type of bullshit. And lo and behold, like a lot of guys, unfortunately, he goes along with this, which is stupid, but he's young, so he doesn't know any better. Fine. And guess what? To no surprise, she's hooking up already. Like that. But also, an unexpected turn. You're going to see this guy goes out eventually, and he starts having girls pay attention to him. Turns out he's a good-looking dude, they like him, and he's hooking up left and right. And take a wild guess who starts having issues with this. The girlfriend. And lo and behold, she then wants to close it again because she realizes that she's got competition, she's going to lose this guy, etc., etc. And it's a funny one, and the way this thing goes and how it ends is really good. You guys will definitely enjoy it. The moral of the story is, the second she or a guy brings up the idea of open relationship, open marriage, it's over. Don't go for that crap, because if you do, it's not going to go well. It's already over. And I know you guys know this, but I get newcomers all the time, and I tell good stories, but I also teach and give some good lessons along the way. So it starts off, he says, so me and my girlfriend, we're both 23 years old and have been dating for 4 years now. She has an ex before me, but is my first in everything. Well, 6 months ago, she said she was looking into having an open relationship and it would be good for the two of us. Good for the two of us to get some experience, and that way so we wouldn't get bored of each other. Well, sounds like she's bored already. And good for us? Try good for you. I was very much against the idea, but she said there was no other option for her and I didn't want to lose her, so I agreed. Smack! Who has the power in the relationship? Him or her? Her. Why? Because she doesn't give a shit. She knows that she can get her way. Remember, as the saying goes, whoever cares about the relationship the least has the power. And she's got all the power. And she knew darn well what she would get. And remember, these girls typically already have dudes, and I'm saying plural, dudes, lined up already. This is just their way to twist things around so they can legally cheat. We made the rule that we'd tell each other about who and when we were hooking up with others, and after 2 days of this starting, she went and slept with her ex-boyfriend. There you go. I was kind of sad, and to lift my spirits, my friends took me to a club. We danced and enjoyed there and joined a girl group. One of them started grinding on me, and I took her phone number. We met up later at my place and had you know what, and it was so much better. My girlfriend was what one would call a pillow princess. She'd close her eyes and do her best not to moan. Just kind of lay there and took it and made me feel uncomfortable, so our sex life dropped. But this girl was wild. She moaned like crazy and really made me feel like she enjoyed me. Well, I'm going to stop right there and say, because she obviously was enjoying this dude, and his girlfriend, the pillow princess as he called her, the reason she was sticking her head in the pillow and keeping quiet and pretty much going to sleep because she was bored. She obviously lost all attraction for this dude and was probably just staying with him for, the safety net. This guy was the safety net boyfriend. Probably the guy that she's hoping to marry one day, the marriage material dude. There you go. I told my girlfriend about her, and she just sent a thumbs up emoji and a text that she'd be hooking up with her ex once again. It was weird, and it did click to me that she just wanted to mess around with her ex. But I was having so much fun, and I didn't want it to close it up again. I was feeling confident, handsome, and attractive for the first time in a while, and I realized that she never actually made me feel that way. The relationship died a long time ago. And look at this. He's going out in the scene like, whoa, all these girls like me. This isn't very hard. I'm having a good time. I'm having a way better time with these girls. They actually treat me like a human being than my freaking girlfriend here who wants to go get some freaking sausage. Maybe I don't want to stop this. We started seeing each other less and less. We went from hanging out daily for the first two years to 3 to 4 times a week to once a week. One day we were out at the mall together and she stopped at a store to try out some clothes. I ran into a friend of mine at the store and we started chatting and openly flirting. And it ended with her telling me that she hoped we could see each other again in front of my girlfriend. Yeah, I'm sure his girlfriend liked that real much. I'm willing to bet you that his girlfriend thought that he wouldn't be getting a whole lot of tail because he probably was not the same type of guy around her, unsure of himself. But surprise, she's got competition. And what happens when girls get competition? I think on that day she changed a bit. She stopped sending me a text telling me who she was hooking up with, and she said it was because she wasn't hooking up with anyone anymore. Bullshit. We started spending more time together because she wanted to. She started initiating more and more and started trying out new stuff and generally being more affectionate. Look what happens when a girl has competition. I knew this was love bombing, but I enjoyed it, so I didn't really do much. I still took full advantage of the open relationship and would still go out and have fun, and this started irking her. Look what happens when they have to fight for you and keep you in their lives to win you. All of a sudden, he's getting way more bedroom action than before, and she's getting more creative in this act. Imagine that. Who now has the power in the relationship? That's the way it should be. She asked me why I was still with others now that she was giving me all the attention I wanted, and she insinuated that I wanted to cheat on her, which is why I agreed. To which I said I was the reluctant one and she brought it up. You're damn right, she's the one that brought it up. We all heard this. She said she regretted it and that she had only had one partner and realized he wasn't as good as I was, so she ditched him and now she wants to close the relationship again. Not happening, honey. You brought this up. I stayed with you. Now I'm having a good time. You're only doing this because you're afraid you're going to lose me to a better looking girl who actually treats me like a human being. I told her what she was like in bed and how I felt terrible around her before. And opening up a relationship brought back my confidence. She started crying and hugged me and said she didn't know that she'd make up for it and make up for it with me, and asked me if I was going to leave her. Now she has uncertainty, which makes him even more attracted to a guy. I said it had crossed my mind, but I thought not to. She cried harder, then fell asleep, and I realized that I really don't want to close the relationship. I've been feeling attractive and desired for a while now, and I really enjoy it. She has said that she'll do her best to make me feel like that, and said that she loves me and doesn't want me to leave her. And she's also changed a bit, complimenting me and stuff from which does make me feel better. I'm actually willing to close a relationship, but I would not guarantee that she won't go back to doing what she was, which I really don't have. So here I am. Do you guys think it's best to close a relationship? Should I even stay in this relationship? Will she go back to being what she was? He wants to know people's opinions, so I'll give him mine. No. If he's in the relationship with her, he shouldn't close it. But here's a better idea. Break up with her. Okay? She obviously didn't give a crap enough about you to stay in a relationship being exclusive with you. And while you were together, she wasn't the best girlfriend, obviously. And I'm taking away her very little enthusiasm in the sex. Sounds like she just he was the old ball and chain to her. Never complimented him, never made him feel good about himself, made him feel loved. So why the hell stay in this relationship? I'd break up with her and move on. And this guy has, punani falling from the sky in front of him, so take full advantage of it. It's going to be a better deal than her. And she's obviously a liar and a cheater, which, surprise, surprise, you're going to find out real soon. Not to reveal too much, but I'm sure you guys figure that out real quick. No. And that's it. And he says here, will she go back to being what she was? You're darn right. The second he closed that relationship, I bet you within a week, and I'm being generous every week, she'll go back to being exactly the same as she was. Like that. And pretty soon we'll be back to the open relationship. Cut ties, move on. He should have done that immediately, but now he knows he has options. Great time to break away. Here's a few comments, and I'll get to part 2 of the story. One guy says here, I read one of these kinds of things at least twice every week. I don't believe most of these kinds of posts. However, I always say the same thing. The catalyst for wanting to open a relationship is if the initiator is already sleeping with someone else and wants to make it guiltless. is planning to sleep with someone else, or the feelings have evaporated, but the person stays for either convenience or falling back if nothing else is better out there. In any case, the relationship is done. She immediately was hooking up with her ex-boyfriend, which means obviously she wanted to have this guy here, the stable guy, the rock, the safety net, meanwhile enjoy the benefits of her ex. And there's a reason the ex is the ex, okay? So she can have her stable guy and get sausage on the side. And nobody would believe that she wasn't already hooking up with her ex before she brought this up. Come on. Another guy says here, bro, get out now. Didn't read the first paragraph for that giant red flag to come out. She opened the relationship for one reason, and we all know why. And now the OP is doing his thing. It's a problem. He says, sexist, I know, but in my case, they always think there's a place to come home to. Have their cake and eat it too. But guys are dogs, and unleashed dogs don't wait around for the next meal. Nature or the beast. He says in the second paragraph is how you should feel all the time, and vice versa for her. I'm at least your age. No matter how you feel, the only thing you should be worried about is yourself. If she's running back to the ex that quickly, then that's more than sex. Like I said, her ex is a dog and he's trying to eat. Exactly. And one more, before we get on to part 2 here, he says, I think she trashed her relationship to get some ex sex and has realized she effed up. She knew she was going to get a FUCK out of her ex before she even suggested this to you. She was probably chatting with him before, and she opened up the relationship and to see if and she was back in bed with him within a few days. She just had no idea you managed to get laid so quickly. That's it. Guaranteed. She didn't think this guy would nearly be able to get the amount of action that he did, let alone that quickly. It sounds like you've gone and explored a bit and realized she isn't the end-all, be-all of human existence. So I think the relationship is probably over. You're both just hanging out now out of comfort or whatever. I called off and continued dating other women. Exactly. Now, part 2. And you guys are going to see real quick that what happens in part 2, what's revealed in part 2 is no surprise and completely fulfills the stereotype of what happens in these situations. He says here, those of you that like a long story short, we broke up. Those of you like the juicy details, here goes. So after making my post, I saw that breaking up was my best option. Not just because I didn't want to close the relationship, but also because she had lied and manipulated me and was very likely doing it again in the form of love bombing. There you go. I didn't want to be the shitty guy who breaks up over text. Why? Look what she did to you. I also didn't want to risk her changing the narrative to paint me in a bad light, so I decided to meet her in a public restaurant with a friend of hers as a reliable witness so she wouldn't be able to slander me later. We were supposed to meet day before yesterday, but something came up and me and her friend forgot about the date. I arranged for a makeup meeting to yesterday, keeping everything the same. He said, well, yesterday I arrived at the restaurant and she was already sitting there. She cheerfully waved at me, but her face went from confusion to shock to sadness when she saw that I had brought her friend with me. She asked me what the friend was doing there. I said she was there just to justify what happens here at a later date if necessary. She just tilted her head a bit. She probably saw him walk in with her friend, which seems a little bizarre to me that he's bringing in her friend. Obviously, it's their friend. I bet she immediately she's thinking that he's nailing her, which probably made her even more crazy. Well, I told her I was done with her, and not in a good way. I told her off for the manipulation, the clear desire to cheat without having any guilty conscience, and the fact that she thought I wouldn't be able to get anyone. She got defensive and started crying, and said it wasn't like that. But I interrupted her and said that's exactly what it was like, and I knew that she'd been fooling around with her ex before we opened the relationship. There you go. Shocker. It's usually how it goes. Either they are fooling around, or they've lined things up that literally the second the guy foolishly goes for the open relationship, she's like, text the dude, come on over. I didn't, and it was a shot in the dark, but it hit the mark. She completely broke down sobbing and said she was so sorry and was confused at the time. Confused about what? Being a decent human being? She said she didn't want to lose me and tried to get me to remember the good times that we had. All that did for me was to show me how long back our relationship had actually died, and I just said that to her. There was more crying. She said she'd change. I said I hope she did for the next guy she'd be with, but it wouldn't be with me. Nice, bro. When she asked for the open relationship, I guarantee you she never saw any of this coming. Him having the balls all of a sudden to kick her to the curb, all of a sudden him getting all these girls. This is karma, honey. She said to me that she would keep the relationship open and wouldn't be with anyone if that was the problem. I said that our relationship ended as soon as she asked to open it. I just didn't know it at the time. This guy's learning. She was bawling her eyes out, and people's eyes started running over to our table. I just said that I'd return her stuff within a few days and left while she was face down on the table, her friend consoling her. Good Lord, what a drama queen. They're in a restaurant, and she's bawling, and everybody's looking over. They're having their food, and they're like, what the hell, looking over, and I'm picturing her face down in her fucking spaghetti or something. So yeah, I'm done. For the first time in 4 years, I'm single, and for the first time in a year or so, I don't feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I'm going to follow the majority of the advice given to me here and enjoy my youth. I won't be actively hunting for a relationship for a while, but if the right one comes along, then lucky me. Good. No rush. He's 23, he's young, he's got his whole life ahead of him. He should be working on his purpose, whatever that may be, getting excellent grades in school, finishing up a certification for a trade, I don't know what, busting his butt for a promotion at work. But yes, he's going to date and hook up, and he gets have a little fun on the side. Just be careful. And by him, obviously, not actively looking for a relationship, that means he's going to obviously have girls throwing themselves at him. That's usually how it works. He says, thanks everyone who took the time to write the comments. Thanks to the people that DM me, except for that one CUNT, you know who you are, and provided valuable advice. I did get a blast of messages and calls from my ex, begging for another chance. I thought it'd be satisfying to see it, but honestly, it was just sad. I ignored the messages. I left my phone at her place and went to a friend. I left my phone. I can't. He obviously messed up what he wrote here. And I went to a friend's place to hang out without having to ask her if she's cool with it. I'm really going to enjoy being single. And he also says, guys, I really love the support. Thank you so much. I'm reading every single comment. I'm not replying right now, but I assure you I'm reading all of them. So, we have another happy ending here. Good for him, because a lot of guys don't do this. But I think it's warranted. I think it's karma for the girls that pull this crap. It's like, if you're that unhappy, the relationship is that bad, break up. And just don't do this open relationship crap. But it is the epitome of selfishness. Okay? I'm going to have my cake and eat it too. I'm going to keep the good guy who's loving and loyal and trying to be a good boyfriend. And meanwhile, go hook up with dudes that would treat me like garbage. And sadly, so many guys go for this. But hopefully, as more and more of these stories spread around, either the ones I do or the guys that post on places like Reddit and other people read it, they're going to learn not to do this crap. You know? Very slowly, but people will learn. So I encourage all you guys out there that if you have a friend or family member that might think about agreeing to something like this, you tell them flat out, don't go for it. It's going to end in disaster. Maybe you can show them some of these articles. Maybe you can show them some of my videos, whatever, to help these guys out. Because sadly, so many guys have been brainwashed by the narrative out that pretty much you got to put the girl on the pedestal, treat her like the queen, kiss her butt, do whatever she wants, never question it. And this is the type of crap that happens. So good for this guy. All right, guys, that was it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Really, comment away. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.